Good afternoon. My name is Father Anthony Urban. I'm the pastor of St. Rose of Lima Catholic Parish in Garrettson, South Dakota, and also St. Joseph the Workman at Huntmer. Huntmer is a family name, uh, not really a town anymore. There used to be a tiny little place with all the railroad stuff going on. And so today, just wanted to, obviously you can see the rose vestment in the background, getting ready for Gaudete Sunday this coming weekend. And something to note today is that Father Andrew Apostoli CFR passed away this morning in New York, I believe, and he was one of the founding members of that religious order, the Capuchin Friars of the Renewal, or the Franciscans. I don't remember what the F stands for exactly. But Father Apostoli was influential in lots of different ways. I think he had a really good background in theology, psychology, religious life, obviously. And he and Father Groeschel, Benedict Groeschel, he passed away a few years ago now. But a few of their books have been very influential in my discernment regarding celibacy and also, in turn, living out chastity as well. So I just want to offer two books, one from each, and then a third one just for a kind of a special plug. Nothing of my own. Good golly, I don't have time to write a book. I remember when I was done with the Master of Ceremonies job back in July, people asked me, what are you going to do with your extra time? I'm like, well, maybe I'll write a book, but who would read it? So there's always that. I have thought about writing a book, but maybe a few more years, once I get towards 10 years of priesthood, maybe I'll have a little more to write about. So today, a couple of quick things. One, the first book is by Father Groeschel. This is the first book I really read, I think, about celibacy or the topic of chastity. And obviously, what chastity is really that integration of our sexuality. Us as human beings, God's gift of sexuality is for us to express love according to our vocation. That's the way I always describe it. And so, married life, chastity will look much different than chastity as lived out by a religious or a priest. So this is the first book, The Courage to be Chaste, by Benedict Groeschel, CFR. And this was written back in 85. That's the year I was born. So I think it shows that, stuff afterwards written by him would be drawing from this and expanding upon that as well. So it's one book, and it just, very topically goes through it. I'll just go through the table of contents very quickly. It's broken up into two parts. One is the challenge of a chaste life. 3 chapters within that: living a chaste single life in today's world. Secondly, understanding your choice of a celibate life. And then third, sexuality in a chaste single life. And part 2 are suggestions for a chaste single life. Sexual problems in single persons and some solutions. A single life with style. 6, the dark side and the light side. Ironic that I'm doing this 2 days before Star Wars comes out, which I do plan to see probably on Monday. I hate crowds, and I know there will still be a crowd on Monday. People will probably be wanting to see it again for the 8th time or something like that. And then lastly, chastity and spirituality. And it also has some suggested readings as well. I should take a look at that sometime. Let's see. The second one is by Father Andrew Apostoli, who just died this morning. So this one is When God Asks for an Undivided Heart, Choosing Celibacy and Love and Freedom. This is another book that was very helpful for me in further discernment of this, and kind of goes into some of the more, this is a newer book as well. I think it was written maybe in, I forgot where it was, 95, so it's 10 years older than this. One of the things that both of these books will not take into account is the type of material that is open or available for consumption. And obviously referring to pornography. The reality is that pornography in the 80s and even into the mid-90s was consumed through print media, magazines, books, all those kinds of things. Obviously, in our day and age, pornography is much more closer at hand. this thing, my phone, is a portal into many things good, many things not good. And I just received an email from Integrity Restored. They're an organization that does a lot of outreach to those who have been affected by pornography. I've listened to their podcast, gone to one of their clergy intensives back in June down in Nebraska. Very good program, very good, worthwhile to support them. But the presenter, Father Sean Kakali, kind of said, when families, when you give your children an iPhone, iPad, a tablet, any kind of electronic device, even gaming devices, for heaven's sakes, you have to protect them. You have to, secure them. And so in the show notes, or the whatever, I don't know if they're show notes, it's video notes, I don't know. But I will put a link to them, and then they also have some good resources of how to put filters or blocks on some of these things as well. Protects not only your children, but also you as a whole family. And then lastly, and ironic again, the forward put up by the camera, Father Andrew Apostoli, forward by Father Benedict Rochelle. There were two peas in a pod, we might say. Then lastly, another book that I've read a couple times is this one, A Priest Forever, The Life of Father Eugene Hamilton. And beautiful story of a seminarian who had been diagnosed with cancer and persevered, was ordained a deacon and a priest relatively closely together. And the one thing I always note, just a wonderful man, this Father Hamilton. And it's that reality is that once we are ordained as priests, we are ordained as a priest forever. And this was written by Father Benedict Rochelle as well. So just encourage you, especially this one for any young men or older men who are discerning priesthood, this would be a great one to pick up. These two, I would say the audience for both of these is later high school, and it depends on how people are formed. Might be later on. So for college chaplains, this would be good. So hope these are beneficial to you, and pray for Father Apostoli. Pray for his happy repose, and pray for those who mourn his loss, especially those who provided care for him, whether it be his fellow Franciscans, his doctors, nurses. Any loss is difficult, so be sure to my prayers for you, and stay warm out there, and may God bless you this day.